This is exactly how much money YouTube has paid me for 375 million views on one of our long form channels. Now, this isn't short form, this is long form. In about 3 years, we've garnered 375 million views, 7.8 million watch hours, and 1.2 mil subscribers. Now, before I show you this, I want to go ahead and make sure you guys see the currency. It is USD. So what a lot of these fake gurus will do is they'll set the currency to like Venezuelan dollars or some sort of demographic like that. Now, yes, 3, 2, 1, let's go ahead and refresh. And off that amount of views, we made 391,000 USD. Now, this channel still makes money to this day. If we go ahead and filter it by like last 90 days, it's still doing about 5 grand every 90 days. Nothing crazy. We have so many more channels than just this, but this was sort of my first channel. This was where I made most of my money at the very beginning, and it obviously holds a place in my heart. Even though it may not be as profitable anymore, it still does make money in the long term. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is Evergreen videos as a whole and exactly how we were able to structure and scale this channel to 375 million views in that amount of time. Now, keep in mind, at this point, I had no idea how YouTube worked. I had no idea how much the platform, was scalable. And if I had somebody like me telling me all this information for completely free, I would have had a much quicker time at scaling and getting everything started. So, Evergreen videos, what this means is making sure the content you make, and this counts for both short form and long form content, ensuring that the content you make will still get views 3 years, 4 years down the line. And as I'm just about to show you, I'm going to be showing you guys some videos that we still have on that channel specifically that still get a heap of views. Now, coming over, this is an example of an evergreen video. You guys can see it's a 44-minute video. You can't see the length because I have everything blurred, but even as of right now, last 48 hours, still getting 14,000 views every 48 hours. So if we're talking daily, that's about 7,000 views a day. Filter by last hour, still like 150 views this hour. Off of 8.4 million views, we got $45,000 in ad revenue. Now, if we go ahead and filter this video by the last 365 days, because this was posted like 2-3 years ago, it is still doing every year, completely passively, $15,000 for me. And FYI guys, we do nothing. Once a bunch of these videos are posted, and this is kind of what I do on my business specifically and all of my faceless channels, we schedule content, we have videos going live all the time, and obviously the end goal is to have videos exactly like this. Evergreen videos that will continue to get views 3-4 years down the line and consistently make you passive income. Imagine if you had 10 of these videos, that's a completely organic 150,000 USD every single year from old content. Now, as you guys can see, it is doing about $20 a day as of right now. It was doing earlier this year about $100 a day on average, and that was obviously really good. You guys can see the retention graph right here. I'm going to make sure I blur all of this so I don't leak anything, but 17% AVD. Obviously, the graph, it's a 44-minute video, so what can you really expect? But RPM on this channel, or on this video specifically, was $4.50, and that's obviously so high compared to the other content on this channel just because the length of the video is so much longer. Henceforth, we're able to put far more ads and get paid a much higher RPM. Now, on this channel specifically, I want to kind of talk and dabble into a bit of outsourcing and margins because I see a lot of these gurus that show revenue and don't talk about how the inner workings of having and running a faceless channel really work. Obviously, if you guys haven't seen my other content on this channel, I go into depth on how to create a channel, how to execute, everything like that. So outsourcing, how that works. What we do on this channel is we have a team that do everything, whether it be editing, live streaming, doing all of the content, script writing, voice acting. On this channel specifically, even though AI has advanced enough to give us the capabilities to automate all the content, we still do opt for people to actually run the channel. In terms of margins, that's how much profit we take. Off of that 397,000, I believe it was. Let me go ahead and check. Yeah, $391,000. Off of that, if I wanted to talk profit-wise, I would say we're sitting at about 70% margins, maybe 80%. So off of that, obviously tax and stuff, we don't count that. But once again, guys, I'm going to go ahead and blur this so you guys can't really see everything. But if I filter by Switch account, which is obviously all of my YouTube channels, I'm going to blur it, but you're going to be able to see as I'm scrolling down just how many channels I have on this one Gmail account. And this, once again, majority of these channels are automated. Some of them are sort of, not really running anymore. Some of them have been quit, but you guys can kind of understand the amount of scalability this has. And if you are able to do this on one channel, why can't you just replicate it across a multitude of networks? Now, guys, the final thing that I want to dabble on is what contributes to having a high RPM. Now, this channel specifically, and one of the things that I would change if I were to do this entire process again, and a big mistake that I think I did make, was choosing a niche where the RPM is not too high. Obviously, I'll blur this out again, but in this niche specifically, the RPM on this channel was, once again, this was the CPM. So CPM is how much YouTube gets paid. RPM is how much you take home. On this channel specifically, the CPM is about $4.50. So half of that is about $2. It really sucks. And going forward, I would have chosen a niche with a much higher RPM. Now, you may be asking, well, what contributes to a high RPM? How can I ensure the niche I do choose has a high RPM? Now, the biggest thing I can tell you is I missed out on about $300,000 on this one channel specifically, and that's due to one simple mistake that I made, and that was not placing enough ads on the videos. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but if you use Google Chrome, or any of those softwares, if you head to the Chrome Web Store, you can get an extension called YouTube Ad Placer. Now, it's completely sort of gatekept. Not many people talk about it. It's not sponsored. I don't want to act like I'm sponsored for this segment, but it's just YouTube Ad Placer. When you go to the monetization tab and you're selecting where you want your ads to be in a video, simply put an ad every 10 seconds. Now, what that will do is you press this button, you press start, and it's going to essentially just place an ad like every 10 seconds. Now, I know it might not seem crazy just when I'm explaining it to you, but YouTube will not actually place an ad every 10 seconds. What it will do is essentially place an ad as often as it can in YouTube's system. Now, you might be saying, well, isn't that going to affect your AVD and your average view duration? And funnily enough, it does not. So placing those ads, had I have done that, because on this channel specifically, for the majority of the length of this channel and when we were running it, we were never doing this. We were simply using YouTube suggested ad features, and that was horrible. Had I have implemented this, it would have spiked our RPM from about $2.50 all the way to like $5, even $6. Now, another trick you can do to increase your RPM is by enabling alcohol and gambling ads. Those are two things that can also be done through the settings tab. Now, yes, just to clarify, one more thing I want to talk about is longer videos. Now, when you are getting into YouTube automation as a whole, obviously shorts don't count for this. You can talk about 3-minute shorts to make a case for that, but in this particular, sense, I'm going to be talking about long form because that's what I'm showing you. I don't want to show you this long form channel and then talk to you about short form because obviously there's no credibility in that sense. But with longer videos, you really want to make sure when you're choosing a niche now, and this is something that I usually do with my team, is we try and target ultra long form content. I'm talking upwards of an hour, completely automated with AI, with 10-second ad breaks. Now, when I say this, I am not joking. You can get an RPM of upwards of $30 per 1,000 views. Had I have had an RPM of $30 per 1,000 views whilst I was running this channel, I would have literally made, now keep in mind, I would have made, I believe that's $11 million had I have had that RPM. Now, of course, getting this amount of views on content with that long, time frame is pretty unrealistic, but even if you're just getting 10% of that, it's a lot better long term for the content you're making to have longer videos completely outsourced with a team and have 10-second ad breaks and also disable or enable gambling and alcohol ads. What that's going to do is essentially take your RPM, and that's a massive mistake I made in the beginning, was choosing a shit niche and honestly just not optimizing as well as I possibly could have. So doing those two things, you can expect your RPM to go from about $2.50 to where I was personally at, to upwards of $20, even $30. I've seen highs of upwards of 40, but that's obviously on ultra long finance content and things like that. Now guys, if you do want free information and you want me to review your channel and show you niches and just give you honest opinions, go ahead and join my Discord server. It's discord.gg/1%. We've got thousands of you in there now. It's completely new, so you guys can be one of the first. And also I do have my one-on-one mentorship program, blakeryan.co, where I personally sit with you and scale you to 20K a month through the use of YouTube automation. But yes, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day.